What's up, everybody? Omega Dudes, episode 7. We got a lot of Christmas themes for you. Also, some Mandalorian season 2 finale stuff. Dude, that was awesome. Where the showed up and completely the out of all those save brought whatever. Sorry, lots of spoilers ahead. Yeah, let's do this. What's up, guys? So before we get into everything that everybody wants to talk about, namely The Mandalorian and Christmas, what you got to do for us is like, subscribe, click that bell, comment down in the comment section. Come on, bring us whatever you got. We got some strong opinions. I'm sure you guys got some strong opinions. Lay it on us. So before we get into anything, here's some news. So Christmas is tomorrow, and you all better be wearing your mask because if Santa dies from COVID, we're going to be some unhappy campers. Moving on to media. The Mandalorian is obviously what everybody's super excited about right now because, wow, that was pretty cool. So we're going to go straight into that.
Chris, I got to stop you, bro. Look, The Mandalorian, obviously, people are stoked on that, the season finale and stuff, but bro, you don't want to go right into the main course. You know what I mean? You got to have a nice, tasty appetizer, an appetizer, maybe even a salad. You know what I mean? And so
it's what you eat before you eat.
Exactly. What you eat before you. So let's eat before we eat, bro. What I want to bring up is a great movie that I saw this past week, just kind of flipping like, hey, what do you want to watch? Let's watch your Christmas movie. What's it going to be? And we landed on a little cartoon on Netflix called Klaus. That's Klaus.
Notice he didn't say it wasn't a Christmas story.
So, it's not a Christmas story. That comes tomorrow. But in all honesty, completely honest, this is a gem, folks. If you're sitting here on Christmas Eve, on Christmas Day, and you don't know what to watch and you have Netflix, watch Klaus. If you don't have Netflix, God bless you. That's even better. You should pirate it or however else you can get it. But Klaus,
not really. Omega Dudes not
it was It's a phenomenal movie. It's hilarious. The writing is phenomenal. The animation is very artistic and excellent. It's very reminiscent of The Emperor's New Groove. So a lot of fun, very, very funny parts in it. And the kids will love it too, of course, because it's a cartoon. Very special movie. Very good. I mean, it's definitely top 5 for me Christmas movies. Like it's an instant classic in my head. So Klaus, check it out.
Okay. Well, now that we got that out of the way, we can get back to The Mandalorian season 2, like everybody was super excited about. So,
all right.
Yeah, let's do that.
Well, in references to Parrish's lovely dinner analogy.
Yeah.
So now we're going to go to the salad course.
Chris, you're just going to have to wait.
Yeah. Hold up. So another big DC movie coming out. Wonder Woman 84 is actually due to get released Friday. So Christmas Day, it's coming out. It's not going to theaters. It's going straight to HBO Max. So
really?
So
yeah,
this is like if you're an HBO subscriber, you're just going to be able to see it? Or
no, you still got to pay for it.
But,
just like they did with the Amazon and how Disney Plus did with Mulan and all that, it's going to be a set charge, and you go through.
Okay.
Gotta buy it to rent it for 24, 48 hours.
So kind of like one of those like early theatrical release things that they do sometimes, where you can watch something that's in the theater through streaming, except it's just going to be streaming. Is that just
Correct.
Because theaters are closed right now and they don't really have another option? Or
that was Warner Brothers' solution to COVID. Now, I'm not saying that theaters aren't going to be playing it. But they're not pushing it. The theaters that want it, contact Warner Brothers, and I'm sure they'll get their copy or whatever. But ultimately, they're going to be pushing hard on HBO because, well, they own it.
So my question is this: if you rent that at your home, are you still going to have to pay $15 for a popcorn and $10 for a soda?
If they come to my house, they will.
Yeah, it probably depends on how gourmet you want your popcorn to be. If you're gonna, really do it up right, not just get the Jiffy Pop that you make on your stovetop, then you probably could.
My old lady is so ridiculous. She goes and she gets the popcorn that's like extra heavy butter.
Yeah.
And then she gets home and she takes a full stick of butter and sticks it in the microwave.
Oh, buddy.
And then pours it on the popcorn and then gives it to the kids.
Oh.
I'm literally like, I can hear myself getting better.
Yeah, I think I got diabetes just listening to that story. Yeah.
Okay. Speaking of popcorn, I got my my tin, the Christmas tins with the three different flavored popcorns.
Yeah.
I don't know how I missed that this year, but yeah, I got my first one tonight when I was out at the store, so I'm pretty stoked to dig into that.
You know what else I'm pretty stoked about? Mandalorian season 2.
Time to eat, boys.
Yeah, let's get into this because this is what everybody's going to be talking about. Hold on, yeah. First things first. If you're watching right now, this is going to be very spoiler heavy, and I will say this: the last episode was spoiled for me thanks to this very platform that we're on right now. I was just sklickety scrolling around, minding my own business. I'm not subscribed to any movie review sites or any of that. And lo and behold, here just slides up into view a thumbnail that obliterates the surprise ending, right? It was still awesome because I'm a major Star Wars fan, but I need to go find that channel and send them some hate mail because I was very, very upset. But anyways, if you guys haven't seen it, take your headphones off now unless you don't care and you want to know what happened. But man, yeah, Luke Skywalker showing up at the end was so awesome. And I'll say this really quick because he got neutered in what was it, Return of the Jedi, the second. What was the second?
The Last Jedi?
The Last Jedi. Last Jedi. Yeah, Return of the Jedi was, number 4, 5, 6, right.
Fighting words.
I knew it was something Jedi, yeah. But the Rian Johnson second in the sequel trilogies, that one, terrible what they did to him. So, I've been pissed about that for a long time. But anyways, so you got everybody trapped in a room. They got these droid dark troopers that are just brutal, like very, very hard to defeat. And there's a whole battalion of them or whatever outside, and then that lone X-Wing comes flying up. And even though I kind of had a feeling I'd already had it spoiled, the hair on the back of my neck stood up. And man, when you saw that cloaked figure walk in with the one bare hand and the one gloved hand and then that green lightsaber, I got choked up.
You knew.
I got choked up.
What's great is I love how they did it was because they showed the X-Wing, right? You pay close attention, you can recognize R2-D2's top, fly by the window as they showed it, but it was, still left. It was all dirty and nasty because it'd been pulled out of the swamps of Dagobah. Well, he never washed it, and so it's like you kind of knew who it was, but they didn't show his face until the end. So all the nastiness had been dealt with. He literally just utterly destroyed those. And
all the biggest fans already knew because they saw that gloved hand. They saw the green lightsaber.
Well, from what it sounds like,
they
was
didn't
even
show his face. By not showing his face, it built it more.
Yeah.
From what it sounds like, even before that, I mean, leave it to Chaz to recognize Luke's X-Wing fighter jet by the Dagobah swamp water that's still on it.
Well, and you also got to think how many Jedis are going to be showing up in an X-Wing. You know what I mean? There's not too many at that point in time that are flying. And, well, Chaz, you're the expert here. How many Jedis at that point in time would be flying around in X-Wings?
A handful.
But not
what I mean by a handful. I mean, you could count them on one hand, and the only reason they'd have an X-Wing would be sheer luck. Just they happened to chance upon one and fixed it up, and now it's there. Sure.
So back when I was talking about Luke being neutered and him getting his balls back in this episode. So when the first of the sequel trilogies came out, directed by J.J. Abrams, I was excited because I know J.J. is a big Star Wars fan, and he really set up a lot of cool arcs that could be followed through over that trilogy. So there was a lot to look forward to. A lot of people were like, oh, it's just a rehash of A New Hope, whatever. I thought it was cool, right? Then Ryan Johnson comes along. He just doesn't get it. He did not get it at all. Not only did he destroy everything that J.J. Abrams had built up, he took Luke and turned him into something that Luke just isn't. He called a lightsaber a laser sword and he threw it over his shoulder. Just, what? Why? So when Jon Favreau, right? When Jon Favreau, who has done wonders for many different franchises because he gets it, when he comes along with The Mandalorian season 1, I've talked about a little bit, I don't know on this show or what, but I thought it was a little kind of fluff, a little kind of lame-ish, and maybe they were just testing the waters, whatever. I was hoping season 2 got better. First couple episodes, then it started getting better. Then the Boba Fett thing, and then it just kept getting better and kept getting. And now it's like, whoa, that was good. I really can't wait to see what they do in season 3. So thank you, Jon Favreau. Thank you.
You get it.
Can he just start directing like every movie that is important to us?
Well,
like every movie that's important to our childhood.
I want to tangent here real quick, and it's only just because of my extensive nerddom I want to do this.
Tangent away.
But Jon Favreau, dude, I've been following this guy in his career for like 20, 25 years now. The first movie I remember seeing him in was Swingers.
That's exactly what I was just about to say. Yep.
Which I believe he directed that as well. And several other Vince Vaughn movies. You'll see him pop up and make a cameo, but he did most of his work behind the camera. Like Wedding Crashers, Dodgeball, stuff like, he basically made Vince Vaughn's career. Well, finally, it's like Vince Vaughn stopped making movies. So he's like, well, I guess I like the Avengers. Let's start an Avengers saga. So we did.
Let's do Iron Man, right? Let's just see what happens with that. But yeah, I agree. Like he gets it. He just he understands because he's a fan, a true fan that not only watched different mediums, from the comics of Marvel to Star Wars to all these different things that he's touched, and he didn't just watch those or read through those a couple times, but like was a fan, loved them, couldn't get enough of them. And when you're at that level, your imagination runs wild. You already know all the history. You know what's going to be taboo. Like having Luke, how they portrayed him was just so bad. That scene where he force ghosted himself into that battle with all the big, what are they, the AT-S6 or whatever. Is that whatever those things were that were pretty cool.
AT&Ts, I believe it is. The AT&Ts.
That scene was pretty decent. When he walked out, I was like, oh, this is going to be good. Luke Skywalker is back, right? And then it just turns out he's a force ghost and that's it. And so lame. It could have been, that could have made that movie it could have immortalized it, that scene. Just like the scene at the end of Rogue One where Vader comes in and it leads into the beginning of A New Hope, but where Vader, you see his lightsaber light up the room and he just goes ham. That's legendary. That's one of those scenes that everybody will always talk about from Star Wars.
I watched that yesterday.
Yeah.
I think the thing that really got me, that made it a bigger surprise and probably to my benefit, kind of in the opposite way that it affected you, Chris, like you kind of saw it coming and that put a little bit of a damper on it, but it was still good. Like for me, it was like I had the complete wrong timeline for some reason. I thought that The Mandalorian was what the timeline of it. It was taking place. That show takes place after the fall of the New Republic. So like that, or is it the New Order, the First Order?
First Order.
It takes place. Season 1 takes place 8 years after the Battle of Yavin, which was Return of the Jedi.
Right. So it's between the Return of the Jedi and then this latest set of movies this latest trilogy. So I thought it was right after this latest trilogy. And that's what I've been operating under, that assumption for both of these seasons. So when I see this X-Wing roll up and I'm like, an X-Wing? What are they? No, it's not. Luke Skywalker is probably Ahsoka or one of these others. And he comes in, he starts, and my wife's like, who has a green lightsaber? I'm like, well, the only one I know of was Luke Skywalker, but he died.
I mean, Qui-Gon Jinn had one. Just
I guess so. I was like, but that was way back. I was like, but Luke died. So, and then I see the guy's got one gloved hand. I'm like, hey, what's going on here? He drops his hood, and I'm like, hey, Mark Hamill's way older than that. What is going on here?
Damn, they filmed this a long time ago.
How'd they know this scene was going to happen? And so I said, okay, so what? Are they cloning Jedi or something? I start my brain starts rolling. I come up with like a bunch of different
scenarios,
freaking, I've got people aren't landing on the moon. I got, 9/11 conspiracy stuff. I'm throwing up just everything.
Yeah, you look like that Rain Man thing where all the different mathematical equations.
Yeah, and then
text messages I'm not responding to.
Yeah,
I have so many questions.
As soon as it was over, I sent a text message to these two guys saying, I just saw the season finale and I have so many questions. So I had to
told him just wait until the show.
Oh man.
What I liked, so season 1, what I thought was cool is that, they showed the dark saber at the end. And I thought that was something that was cool, but I was kind of mad that it didn't get explored at all. I was like, it's not really a good cliffhanger for the end because there wasn't really much leading up to it, in my opinion. But they set it up great in season 2. And one of the things that I like best about season 2 of The Mandalorian is that my wife does not like Star Wars. I didn't find this out until after we were married. How terrible is that, right? So she refused to watch it. And I think the reason why is because her dad, I guess, was a fan and played it when she was young. And she's a little girl that likes Barbies and whatever. She's grown up in Argentina. And it was just boring to her. She didn't really know what was going on. And so every time she saw it afterwards, she thought it was boring. But Mandalorian season 2, I got her to watch it with me, and just one episode, and that was enough to pique her interest where she starts asking questions about Boba Fett and whatever. Well, over the past 2 days, we watched the original trilogy. We're halfway through Rogue One. I had to stop because I had to get ready for this podcast, but yeah. So She is now getting into Star Wars. So thank you, Jon Favreau, for just one more point on the scoreboard for you.
Maybe. Well, maybe it wasn't that you don't know what the reasons were surrounding it. It could have been something maybe as simple as the dubbing into Spanish was just really, really crappy.
It could be. It could be. Yeah, that very well could be it.
Maybe that's all it took was just seeing it in English.
Yeah. And there's a lot of things that she did watch. Like she prefers watching The Simpsons in the Spanish translation because that's how she grew up with their voices. And it sounds weird to her now, which I can understand.
Do they have a set of actors that do The Simpsons in Spanish?
I'm assuming. I don't know.
Well, Parrish, how else would they do it?
Well, I mean, she's
if you got voice actors for a show, and you got to do a translation, you got to have the same.
But that's just interesting. Like, hey, how you doing? I'm Spanish Bart Simpson.
Yeah, I am Los Homer Simpson.
Homer.
But yeah. Well, especially considering how many seasons there's been, I wonder they had to have switched some people out by now, you'd think, because voice acting and that many. I don't know. I'll ask her about it. We'll retouch on this later. So let's now that we've kind of splurged a little with our Mandalorian excitement. Let's bring it back. Let's roll back a little bit to some more Christmas themes.
I was about to say, I'm just excited. I didn't have to drop all the spoilers this time.
Hey, plenty of warning this time though, right? So one thing that we did, we gave ourselves a homework assignment last week to go out and find Christmas lights that were either decent, like a couple different examples of decent Christmas lights, but more Christmas lights from people that just either completely half-assed it, or people that put in effort but just don't get it. Like you're questioning, why would you do this? You put up a lot of lights, but it looks like garbage. So we have some pictures. We all brought some pictures. Parrish is going to go first. I'm going to put them up on the little screen down in the corner here once I get my stuff all figured out here. Give me 1 second. A little bit of technical difficulties here. And let's see if this works. Come on. Oh, come on. Give me a second, guys.
Sure. So, yeah, what each of us did, Chris kind of touched on, was we just kind of drove around our neighborhoods, and we live in vastly different places. So one thing I'm kind of interested to see is how the decorations differ in both quantity and quality based on our geographic regions. We'll see how that goes.
Okay, so Parrish, I got your first picture up. It is in the little monitor, so everybody can see here at the bottom. Okay. So go for it, take it.
So my first photo this is a good example of good solid. This house actually does. It's down the street from me. They do a phenomenal job with Halloween. They probably have tens of thousands of dollars worth of Halloween decorations that they do, and then Christmas this year they toned it down a little bit, but it's good. It looks good. There's some good lighting there. I'm a fan of lights, not lighting necessarily. I'm not a big fan of like spotlights on your house and then just wreaths and nothing else. Right. I like lights. I like color. It's festive. Looks decent. So on the next photo, this is Chris. Can you see the photos? This is this the one with is this the one with Joy?
Joy, yeah. This is the one with Joy.
Yeah. So this is a ritzy neighborhood that this is Christmas done right, folks. There's pretty much every house on this little street. They're very fancy houses, as you'll see, a little bit higher end, and they do it right. It's tasteful. It looks good. It's festive. It's a lot of fun. So we always make sure we drive through this neighborhood to check out Christmas lights every year. This is actually the entrance.
Quick interjection here. Did you notice this year that a lot of houses that would normally have Christmas lights up just didn't this year? Because that's something that I noticed a lot of. I just wanted to put that out there. Anybody that's out there listening, comment as well. Tell us what you think. Like, does it seem like things just aren't quite as festive this year? Maybe it's because spirits are low because of COVID, or maybe people just, whatever. Nah, this year is just we want it over. We don't care. Let's just get it over with. But I just wondered.
That's kind of my assumption, but I'll be interested to hear to see what people think.
Sure.
What they have to say about that. So get those comments down there, folks.
Yes.
So this is the entrance to that neighborhood. It's a lot of fun. It's festive. There's lots of lights, as you can see from here. So let's go to the next photo.
Okay.
This is just one of the houses. It's simple. It's elegant. They got spotlights with the green and the red. I actually mimicked this in front of my house this year. I took this directly from this neighborhood because a lot of folks there do that.
The trees, how they're lit like that. That's kind of cool.
Yeah, it's stylish. It looks very good. So next photo. This looks to me, it's just beautiful. Each of their little bushes has different colors on it. It looks like a gingerbread house to me. Just so tasteful. So tasteful.
Yeah, that's nice.
Going to the next.
That's a nice house too. I gotta say, it's a pretty house.
Oh, it's beautiful. It's beautiful, beautiful neighborhood. This next house, though, is my favorite house in the whole neighborhood. Wow, look at that. Yeah. I mean, it's schwanky for sure. Very tastefully done. Kind of reminds me of the McAllister house from Home Alone.
That's a perfect description of it. That looks good.
So, but that's the peak. We're gonna start to go downhill from here a little bit. Go to this next one. This next one is right next to a drug house, and
I like the fat balloon Santa.
Yeah,
that you got there.
This is all they have is 2 blow-ups, and I use this as an example to kind of illustrate. I was trying to find someone with a ton of blow-ups in front of their house to show that I hate that. I think it's terrible. I think it's a bad look. I'm not a fan of blow-up lawn ornaments, and if I'm not mistaken, we'll have better examples.
Yeah, you're gonna hate some of the pictures that I got coming up.
So, this person decided to. I mean, how hard is it to throw two balloon or two blow up ornaments out in your front yard and turn them on?
So what I don't understand, and it might be a little bit hard for people to see, but it almost looks like there's a blow up glowing dead dog on its back next to
Yeah.
the Santa. That's kind of the vibe that I'm getting from whatever. I can't tell.
That is a very small Santa and reindeer, I believe.
Oh, okay.
So right next to the giant blow up Santa. So just
Gotcha.
poor taste, not crazy about it. Moving on. So this next one is
Ooh.
this one's, it's not super sharp image because I had to move because it's right next to a drug house. And I didn't want to completely stop.
Yeah, you just keep rolling in neighborhoods like that because you never know.
So one might think driving past this house, and this is just beautiful living close to rednecks. One might think going past this house, hey, they've done a lot of stuff for Christmas. It's not super schwanky or anything, but yeah, they've done some. Let me tell you, buddy, real talk. There's 3 snowflake light ups in the front there.
Wait, hold on. I think I might have the wrong picture up for you.
Oh, do we have the wrong picture?
Give me 1 second. That's all right. Let me find the right picture. Where is it? Oh, there it is. Okay, snowflake light ups. Got it. Yeah.
You got that?
Yep. My bad.
So no, that's all right. We got the 3 snowflakes in the front. One might think, hey, they've done some stuff for Christmas. There's lights around here and there. Nah, bro. No, those snowflakes are the only things that they've put up for Christmas. The rest of that crap is up all year round. Real talk. The lights above their house there, that's a giant tree in their backyard that they've got these icicle lights. And dude, they're on every night. That blue light in the garage, that's just, they've got their whole house lit up in those blue lights because it's
their operation or
their college. It's their college team. And they're like way too big of super fans. Oh gosh, dude. Yeah.
Wow.
So I thought that was fun for that. Like everything you see lit there is lit there all year round, except for those 3 snowflakes in the front.
Hey, but at least they go all out to let you know that they're taking it Christmas. They're doing extra for Christmas. It's Christmas theme, not just some extra lights because people wouldn't notice. It's snowflakes.
There you go.
Yeah.
And moving on to that last picture, you probably already had. I think you already had that one on.
Yeah,
this is just we have found the well. This is one string of lights going across the bush in front of the house and nothing else. Why even do it?
Yeah. I mean, I get that maybe that's all they could afford. What about that? Maybe they had this hand-me-down strand of lights that they got from their great grandparents and it's sentimental. They don't have a lot of money. Yeah, I think it'd be better if they put it on the edge of their house, like where the gutters would be or whatever, the roof. But
next year I'll test that. Next year I will I'll drop off a few strands of lights and just see what they do with it.
Yeah,
because
that's a good idea.
I'd rather they did nothing than that. All right. And that's what I got for
here. Okay, I'm going to start this whole process over for the next set here just because I'm using preview and preview likes to keep everything open. So I did send everybody the pictures that I'm going to put up in the Skype chat just so you guys can follow along if you want to. So you should be able to see them in Skype and you'll know which ones I'm talking about just because they're pretty identifiable. Let me get rid of this window here. Good.
It's
over this way.
You got quite the spectrum here.
Yes. Okay. So what I'm going to say before I show my first one is that I wanted to go to a specific house in my neighborhood because it has a feature that I just can't stand. I can't stand it on any house, but I knew of a particular example. Riding through my neighborhood, I found tons of examples of things I hated this year. So I took a lot of pictures. This first one, I can't say I hate so much, but here it goes. Okay. So this is a a literal buttload of blow up Christmas decorations. These people went all out. And I have to say, I don't think it's bad so much, just maybe my unpopular opinion about not liking the blow up things because the fans, and then during the day, they're all deflated like a bunch of dead Santas and melted snowmen on the ground. Not my thing. But these guys at least kind of went all out to kind of do it up. And just to show that I was there at this house, it's not just, a picture I found online. There's me standing in front of it. So there's the proof right there. I actually did go out and find these houses.
Candy.
So next up, yeah. So next up on my list is the house that I actually went searching for originally. So this here is all it is one of those little laser projector devices putting dots up on the front of the house. That's it. It's not Christmas lights. It's just one of those laser light things. It looks like 3 colors, red, green, and blue maybe. And they kind of cycle around. They rotate.
It's not even Christmas.
Yeah,
it's not even Christmas. It's just multicolored lights.
Yeah, it's terrible. Like, come on. I truly do not know. This does not say Christmas at all. Oh wait, now that I'm looking at it, there is a wreath on the door, a little red wreath. Oh, and there's a couple on the front of the house.
Yeah.
But I don't like that. And I went over there to get this one, but I was also rewarded for my time because there was another one over there, and this one even had worse lights on it. They're just like, it looks like 80s laser beams or something. They do have Merry Christmas on the garage door, so there's that. But and a little blow up Mickey Mouse, it looks like, with a sign or something. A Mickey Mouse with a sign in the front yard. So
that's worse yet. That's a cardboard cutout.
Yeah,
is someone going past that and saying, like, as they drive, like, you really did it. You really outdid yourself this year. Like, who's going past that and like respecting it to any degree? You either don't give a crap or you're going to be like, no, forget this guy. He didn't even try. He didn't even put forth effort. You don't have to be the freaking Griswolds, but put a little effort.
And that's just it. Like, if you want to light up your house, you could, even if you don't want to string lights across your roof, you can get a couple hundred bulb strands of white lights, put them on a couple bushes or something, or wrap a pillar that's by your entryway, or just something. This stuff, it just doesn't do it. It doesn't look good.
No.
That's a just take that with you, viewers out there.
Rave, not in your
this house. It does not look good. So now, another thing that I found, this was completely by mistake. I just happened to be driving home through my neighborhood again, but the other direction, and I saw this. So this is a picture of one side of it. I'm going to try and play this video for everybody afterwards because I drove by videotaping it. And they spent a lot of time on this. You can tell already by the dragon blow up, the Santa on the roof, the lights. You can see that bush. They maybe had to wrap it all the way around behind the house because that was the only outlet for electricity. I don't know.
Look, it's like it goes down on the right there, and then it wraps back around because it's like he brought it down. He's like, shit, I got too many lights.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, and maybe it does. Maybe it comes up to the roof and comes back around. Yeah. So let me see. Go ahead, Parrish.
What I'm seeing with this, okay, so here's how I think this went down. They started on the far side, on the left side, the other side of the garage, and they were getting real intricate with it because there's a lot of stuff going on. It's going up to the roof and down all through the bushes. And as they went across, they realized, oh no, I don't have enough to take this all the way across the house. So they just they end up just doing a thin line over to the other corner. Like, thank God it made it just enough.
Right. So, okay. I don't think I sent you guys this video. I might have done it before, but I just sent you this video. This is the one I'm going to play next. Same house, but I had to drive by and get it all in one shot. Let me get rid of the preview here really quick, and I can put this up on the screen.
You can really see what I'm saying with that, with the video.
So here it's
like they got to the far right there and they said, you know what? Just screw it. Just put a dragon there and it'll be fine.
Yep. I'm going to reverse it a little bit. I guess maybe I should have blurred out this guy's phone number on his work van. I don't mean to diss this guy at all or anything like that. But My favorite part is in this video, I'm going nice and slow here, is once you get over to the left side of this house, how the lights just kind of drag across the ground,
Yeah.
kind of half-assed go over a bush, and then go up into this tree where he does this nice little zigzag pattern. And it looks like Yoda in the tree as well. I didn't notice that before, but Yoda is actually in the tree. So
that's oh man, that's amazingly bad.
I'm picturing. I've got it, dude. Anybody ever see Breaking Bad?
Oh yeah.
I swear to God, that's Jesse Pinkman's new house. Oh, we're gonna get like some Christmas lights, yo!
Christmas lights.
Okay, so I'm throwing the logo up really quick just so I can kind of reset this. Let me get rid of my video player and get Chaz's stuff queued up here. Chaz sent a
whole lot faster.
Yeah, Chaz kind of went straight to the point with this stuff, so that's not a bad thing.
No, straight to the point's good.
Yeah, not at all.
Basically, nice, acceptable, and what hell?
Okay, so here we go. So first picture is up from Chaz.
All right, this isn't a bad picture. This is basically decent. Drive by. Now, first, you got to preface this. My house is I live middle of nowhere. It's a small town. There's like 300 people here. It's on the outskirts of a larger town, but I live at an intersection. And once you cross the road, literally cross the road, you go from houses that were built in the 40s, 50s, and 60s to literally brand new construction.
Okay.
So this is across the street from my house, my 1960s house.
Okay.
So drive across the street, you see this. Every house in there basically looks like this. You've got bright Christmas lights. I mean, they've got the one little inflatable, but it's not a horrible inflatable. They've got the one snowman on the porch, but I mean, they've got some, nice, bright, multicolor lights going
tasteful.
around.
Sure.
Pretty good.
Yep.
Next picture.
Okay.
They didn't really go all out, but
I like how they traced the outline of the roof.
Yes. That apparently is a rule in this little development because every house in that development has a very similar layout. But they went through it. They got the cross up on it. I don't know if you can see the cross off to the side. But they got some nice colorful lights around the house, and they even went up the sidewalk and all that. Everything, cool, whatever.
Yeah.
And finally, last one.
Ooh. Are those?
Just look at this, dude.
Are these even Christmas lights?
Is that not the most depressing thing you've ever seen? The barren, dead grass, the dead trees, and it's like he gave up. He's like, "Look, I'm going to put these lights up, but only because every other house in this neighborhood's done it."
Yeah. They don't look like Christmas lights to me, though. They almost look like, that tube LED lighting that you can get for, like, I don't know, kids' rooms or something. Yeah. Like they have like a reel of it and you can unroll it. Yeah, that's what that kind of reminds me of, is something like that. Like flexible light tubing.
That's not a bad idea. I may install that stuff on my house permanently.
Yeah.
Well, just that way I don't have to, because it's wet, dry. I don't have to go through and hang Christmas lights every year. That's not a bad idea. You may be.
That's true. Well, especially if they actually look decent.
What this reminds me of, it's so sterile. It's sterile.
It's just depressing.
There's no Christmas there. It is a cookie cutter. It reminds me of.
You can see the house next to it too. See how it's got the lines, and it just follows the lines of the house.
Same thing. Yep. I mean, do y'all have
got stuff in the bushes and in the tree? They had some other stuff set up.
At least there's that. Yeah, I'm not outstanding.
If I had to describe this house like using a color, it would be like eggshell.
Yeah.
Just enough to not be completely, void of decorations, but only just that tiny, like 0.5% difference. Yeah.
It's like they took Chip and Joanna Gaines's, their whole motif with the farmhouse, and just but like took all the life out of it. It reminds me of the American Gothic painting, but Christmas.
Yeah, like sterilized.
If a
Yeah.
if a funeral could be embodied in a Christmas picture, this would be
it. You go like, "Hey man, you look like you're setting your house up for a funeral." Maybe I am. Little Johnny Cash humor. Okay.
Okay, so if you guys have any terrible houses in your neighborhood, talking to you viewers out there, you can post links down in the comment section down there. If you want to get in contact with us, let us know. You could even send us stuff. We'll throw it up on our next show just to show off what you guys have too, because that's the kind of dudes that we are. So for now,
and our show map next week's pretty light.
Okay, so Christmas traditions. We put together a list of the top 5 worst Christmas traditions. Okay.
Things drive us crazy.
Yeah, things that are just obnoxious, like bad things. Yeah. So I'll start with number 5, tinsel. Okay. This isn't something that I see happening too much anymore, but it's definitely something that I used to see, and I'm sure happens all over the place still. But you're shaking your head, Chaz. What's up?
Depends on the part of the country you're in.
Sure, I'm sure it does. But tinsel, for anybody that doesn't know, anybody that might be too young to remember, hasn't seen it, it's these super thin pieces of like almost like
that hasn't been chopped up.
Right, like exactly what I was going to say. Like if you imagine glitter before it's been cut, it's like that stuff, mylar or whatever the heck that it is. But it's strands of it, and people used to put it on their trees because it kind of looks like icicles, or on their all over the place. But this stuff, it blows in the wind, gets everywhere. It's horrible to clean up. It's terrible stuff. It's just stupid.
God forbid you have a cat or a dog. They will attack it. You will find it everywhere, and you will be cleaning it up out of their shit or pulling it out of their ass for weeks.
Yeah, and that's the worst. Pulling stuff out.
We used tinsel when I was a little kid growing up, and we would always get a real tree every Christmas, and we would put tinsel on it. And not every Christmas, but I remember a few times. And I remember, whenever we took the tree out after Christmas, you always knew our route exactly, because you could see like whether we're taking out to the trash or to like burn in the yard or something like that. Like, there's this silver path following us of all the tinsel that falls off. And it was, so messy, so nasty. And then of course you're vacuuming it up. You're finding it in the couch cushions and crap, like for weeks or months afterwards. Right. Yeah, tinsel's the worst.
And not only that, but also like environmentally too. And I'm not talking about like the production or whatever, but since it blows all over the place, it'll end up in the water. It'll end up everywhere. And it's an eyesore. People don't clean up after themselves enough. They're not accounting for every piece of tinsel they put up. Disgusting. So moving on to number 4, 12 days of Christmas chocolate calendar things. The little things that show the 12 days of Christmas, and every day you can break open the little cardboard doors and there's a chocolate inside or something like that.
Listen here, I buy myself a box of chocolates. I'm going to eat the damn thing. You're not going to tell me when I can eat it.
The 12 days of Christmas chocolates at Chaz's house. 12 minutes of chocolate.
12 minutes? What's wrong with you?
Yeah, rookie? I thought we were supposed to get one per day.
What's even, they and there's a lot of themed stuff I've noticed that's like the 12 days of blah, blah, blah for Christmas. The peak of ridiculousness for that, I believe I found last year, and my wife actually asked for this. They sell it at Target. It is the 12 days of Harry Potter socks. That is 12 different pairs of socks that are Harry Potter themed. They all look different. And yep, that's what she got for Christmas last year.
What does Harry Potter have to do with Christmas, though?
I mean, who freaking knows, man? Harry Potter has just pervaded everything. J.K. Rowling, good on you. She's like the modern day freaking Kiss. Like she's just marketed the crap out of that.
No
book
kidding.
series.
So, okay, do they only have one version of this 12 days, or are there different options you can buy, like different sets of these 12 days of Harry Potter? So, I mean, I'm assuming there's got to be, because everybody's got to buy multiple 12 days of Christmas Harry Potter socks.
Well, they yes, everybody needs at least. I mean, that's 12. Now, my wife has 12 pairs of socks that just themed Harry Potter. You know
now,
what I mean?
Is it Harry Potter or is it Harry Potter Christmas?
It's Harry Potter.
So it's not Christmas related.
They don't have like Christmas hats on or shit like that.
But it's 12 days. It's like 12 days of Christmas.
Oh, I get that. I'm just asking if the socks are Christmas.
Yeah, like can she wear them so she could wear them other times then?
Yes.
Because I have one pair of Christmas socks. They're just, I think, Express or something. They have little just Christmas tree kind of pattern on it, and I'll wear them on Christmas, and that's the only time I wear them. I wouldn't want 12 pairs of Christmas socks.
My one Christmas sweater.
Yeah, right. You guys can call me Grinch then. This is the only Christmas themed item I have, and I bought it for the last show.
Yeah, and you have kids.
All my socks are black.
Okay, so moving on.
Easy that way.
Since we were just talking about terrible clothing, Christmas related things, ugly Christmas sweaters in general, but ugly Christmas sweater competitions. Hate them.
Yeah, so
hate them.
Let me start off with this. This is not a Christmas sweater, okay? This is a hunting sweater. This is a deer incognito, okay? He's dressed as
if you wore that out in the woods, I'm shocked someone hasn't shot you.
The incognito deer. Anyways, so with ugly Christmas sweaters, man, my theory on those is that, it started off as this fun thing that people would like scour the secondhand stores and consignment stores and Goodwill and stuff to find the ugliest.
Or make their own even. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it started off with them like finding the good, nasty, ugly, old knit Christmas sweaters from like the 80s, right? And then people started making their own. And it kind of became this thing. And the ones that they made were like just started getting more and more ridiculous. And now you can go to Walmart or any other store, Kohl's, whatever, and they have ugly Christmas sweaters. And it's such a trope now.
Yeah.
It's obnoxious.
What they've done is just like everything else Christmas and really every holiday is that America has turned it into just another consumer horror item. Just something else that people need to go out and purchase because, the office is having an ugly Christmas sweater competition or whatever.
Yep.
And it's just so lame because you don't even have to put thought into it anymore. You just go up to Target or Marshall's or something, and there you go. You got one. So yeah, hate it. If it would go back to where, people actually were looking for legit, these were sold as Christmas sweaters and they are just terrible. Like who would ever buy this? They weren't made for that specific purpose. Maybe. Nowadays, hate it.
Yeah.
Number 2, speaking of other things that we hate, family photo Christmas postcards.
I mean, sometimes they can be tasteful, when it's like, oh, But Chris, what were you saying about?
So like my wife, her sister does one for Christmas. I think Christmas mostly, maybe Easter. They do it tasteful though. It's just her husband, 2 kids smiling, whatever, right? But I've seen other ones where I've received ones from other people that I'm not particularly close with, and I don't really care that much. But if they happen to come over for whatever reason, I better be on the fridge, because if they don't see it on the fridge, then of course they're going to be offended. So now I have the responsibility of putting something that I don't want to see on my fridge. Yeah.
And just suffering through it.
Let me just break this down for anybody that knows me, anything like that. Plan on sending me one of those. I'm going to throw it away.
Oh, speaking of that, reminds me, you guys should be getting my family Christmas card either today or tomorrow. I guess maybe tomorrow if it's coming at all. So,
well, hopefully it features your kid doing something just spectacular that you have to just share with the world because he's so special that,
Right. Well, I mean, it's basically, I think a lot of times with people with like young kids or babies, it's basically like the postcard version of a Facebook profile,
Right.
like you see people like riding elephants in India and like standing on top of mountains and doing yoga at the Grand Canyon.
Yeah.
And that's like,
I must just be the worst human being on the planet.
Why?
Well, because I don't, no. My kids are kids. They haven't done anything like that. I'm not going to have.
That's my point. Nobody's
like
kids are like so special as they bring them, make them out to be. A lot of people make them out to be in these postcards. They're, but they want you to see that like little Johnny's already reading. Little Johnny's 6 months old. I'm pretty sure that's, he said, nah. That's not
really, because I just wiped drool off his face.
Right.
Okay, so number one, and this is something that we all agree on, right? It used to be that you would put Christmas decorations up after the Thanksgiving Day parade when Santa came through, and that was like the official beginning of the season to start that. But nowadays, Halloween is when people start putting up, as soon as Halloween ends, you start seeing lights and Christmas decorations go up.
It's worse than that. This year, I got them before Halloween. It was the week before Halloween.
Oh,
because all the Halloween stuff is half off now because they're trying to get rid of it, and all the Christmas stuff's coming out.
Yeah, and I've seen that too in Walmart. Halloween decorations for sale alongside Christmas decorations.
Well, like right now, it's the week of Christmas. So what are they doing? They got all the basic stuff is half off, and they've already got Valentine's Day stuff out.
Wow.
Yeah.
I get it. I get it. Thanksgiving, unless you're a grocery store, there's not a market for you.
Right.
Not a very big one anyway. But you know what? Calm the hell down. Thanksgiving is probably one of this country's most important holidays that continues to get overlooked.
Yes.
Really should.
I'll drink to that. I am
me
with that
too,
100%.
It bothers me.
Yep.
I'm a big fan of Thanksgiving. I buck that. I refuse to begin recognizing Christmas until Thanksgiving. And that's why we do, one of our traditions is we'll start decorating the day after Thanksgiving. But
us too.
But I'm with you, bro. Like, you've got to recognize things. I recognize Thanksgiving with my family and stuff. And that's a very important holiday to me.
And see, the most disappointing thing to me is that is pushed by, the big, the superstores, the Walmarts and things like that. Because if they weren't putting all that stuff out, people wouldn't be buying it. They wouldn't be putting it up, but they keep driving it back further and further. It used to be, leading up to Thanksgiving. I get it. People might need to buy stuff for after Thanksgiving to start putting up, but then it would get towards the beginning of November. And now all of a sudden it's before Halloween even. There's Christmas stuff for sale alongside all of your, trick-or-treating supplies, and come on. So yeah, number one worst Christmas tradition. Yeah.
Absolutely. Which go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say, well, no, you go ahead, Chaz. You go ahead, because I was about to break into something else.
I was just gonna say that brings us into my unpopular opinion for this week.
Oh, okay.
Which is Santa Claus. And okay, kids should only get one gift from Santa. Like all you other parents and everybody, it's all about keeping the magic alive for the kids. Okay,
let's
take on it.
Let's throw a spoiler alert number 2 out there. Spoiler alert number 2, folks. If there are any kids watching, we're about to talk Santa Claus stuff, and so if we want to keep the magic alive, let's have the kids out of the room or away from or out of earshot.
Shame on you, parents, because I'm pretty sure that we marked this as not for kids.
You shouldn't be.
Yeah, it definitely is. So go ahead and hit pause right now. Take little Johnny and little Janie out of the room and resume it once you have them out of here. So,
all right.
Now that we're back and you've unpaused, go ahead, guys.
Kill some magic, Chaz.
Well, I mean, it's It's horrible because like I want to say I was 7, maybe 8 years old. My family had just moved to Indiana, so we're having Christmas with my relatives and such up there. Every gift that I got that year from someone outside of my household said from Santa.
Mhm.
Everyone. When you're 7, 8 years old, you're just like, wait a minute. And then all these people are saying that they got it for you. Like, wait a minute. Like
Putting two and two together.
that's what I mean though. It's like
why is Santa's handwriting different on all of these gifts?
Why would
I
they
say
lie?
one gift. I say one gift so that you can keep your freaking lies straight.
Well, not only that, but they're going to go talk to their friends at school, and if there's there's different varying amounts of gifts from Santa, yeah. So I know my wife talked about her before. She's born in Miami, but she grew up. Her family's from Argentina. She grew up in Argentina, and that's how it was. You get one gift from Santa, and that's just what it was. You get a couple things from your parents or whatever, but in terms of keeping the magic alive, I do have a couple stories about that. So
Go ahead, man.
when I'm not exactly sure how old, maybe 6-ish, 7, so about the same age you were, where you start to kind of think about, maybe this isn't quite real. I'm starting to kind of wake up to things. I was up in Michigan where my grandparents lived. We'd go up there for Christmas every once in a while, and laying in bed, and all of a sudden I hear something hit the roof and drag across the roof. And I'm like, no, that couldn't be. That couldn't be. No way. There's no way Santa's sleigh just landed on this roof. So I'm laying in bed. I don't hear anything more. So okay. I think I just was hearing things or whatever. Well, the next morning I wake up and everybody's like, "Did you hear that last night? That Santa woke me up." Blah blah. Everybody. My uncle walks in and he has a strip of leather that's old, worn, and it's got like sleigh bells on it. And he's torn, this little piece. And he's like, "Look what I just found out in the yard. That's weird." And I'm like, maybe I don't have it right. There was just that little thing that they did. I don't know how they did it. And I asked my parents to try and, to see if they remembered. They remembered the occasion and they remembered talking about it, but they couldn't remember exactly how it went down. This was, 20 years ago, 25 years ago, whatever, 30 years. Jeez. Long time ago.
Man,
but
that's awesome.
Yeah, but it was cool because even at that age where I was starting to think about it, it was enough to make me think twice for a little while. Now,
awesome.
Jen, on the other hand, when she was going to first grade, she was because down there they start their school year in the winter for us because summer for them it's the opposite southern hemisphere. So that she was getting ready to start first grade, coming up in January or February or whatever, and it's right around Christmas time, and her dad didn't want her to hear from the other kids that Santa wasn't real. So he outright told her and her sister, "So girls, I just have to tell you that Santa isn't real. I don't want you to feel embarrassed if you hear this from somebody else or get made fun of. It's just us."
Wow.
So, yeah, she tells me I
ripped
felt
the Band-Aid right off.
It wasn't. She says it wasn't even that that Santa wasn't real. She said that I felt like an idiot because I believed it, and he just crushed it so hard. Didn't even give her time to develop the wisdom to maybe come to the conclusion on her own. Just straight out screws it up. But the best part is they have a younger brother, and he's like, "But you got to keep pretending for him because he's too young to know this." So ruined it. Just completely ruined it. So yeah, I think it's important for kids to have that magic in life still, like have the imagination, hear fantastical stories, not even just about Santa, but just in general, because that's when the creativity is fostered and everything. And just that wonderment of childhood is something that should be preserved. So I completely agree. 100%.
I agree. And one of the ways that I a friend of mine, Todd, told me a couple years ago, as when I was expecting my first child, she gave me imparted some great wisdom on me that I wish that I just love to share with everybody. I tell everybody that I can about this, and it has to do with the Christmas gifts. You want to preserve that magic for your kids as long as possible. And you also want to preserve that magic for other people's kids for as long as possible.
Absolutely.
You don't want to be that person that wrecks it for them, you know? And so one of the ways that you can do that is with the gift giving, give like Chaz said, one gift from Santa, the rest from you. And and I would also say that one gift shouldn't be the big gift. That shouldn't be the PS5. That shouldn't be the, $300 BMX bike, right? And the reason is because that kid's going to go to school on Monday or whatever when they come back from Christmas vacation, and they're going to tell all their friends and stuff that Santa Claus bought them a $500 video game system or something like that.
Right.
And one of the other kids who maybe their parents are struggling, he had a very slim Christmas.
Yeah, underwhelming.
Maybe Santa Claus only got him like a belt or a pair of
maybe
pants.
when he went to see the mall Santa, asked specifically for that PlayStation 5, and that was all he wanted, and Santa didn't bring it. So what's that going to do to that kid?
Exactly.
It's going to be just like the poor kids that asked Santa for Nerf guns.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. The commie Santa.
I see what you did there.
And so I think that it's important to really in practice do that. Take other kids into consideration. Give your kid, a cool, good present, but not one of the more expensive presents that you got them, and make the rest of them from you. Just give him one or two from Santa, and that way, when he tells his friends, it doesn't kill the magic for them or make them feel less or make them feel like, oh, well, what'd I do wrong? Right. I think that's,
Yeah, and I agree. And the other thing too is that it doesn't have to be, a big expensive gift from Santa. It can be something that isn't very expensive, but is very thoughtful, something that really would mean a lot to that kid. And that makes it even better because that makes Santa seem like he really knows, that he's been a good kid. And it's just, that's part of the magic, that wonderment. So absolutely.
And whenever possible, it should be a Nerf gun.
Yeah. 100%.
This
I agree.
Whole segment took a left turn I wasn't expecting. Well, turns out we're not all Scrooges and Grinches, and it's actually a damn good idea. So anyway, I guess it's just that time of year. Let's move on a little bit. Chris, you got one of these.
Let's go off of the Nerf
stories?
gun topic. This is why Nerf guns for kids might be a good idea, despite what Mall Santa might tell you. And this is why. So this is a story out of Pine Bluff, Arkansas. So there was a guy, 22 years old, who called paramedics because his girlfriend was, I don't know, she was having some sort of medical emergency, right? So paramedics show up. This guy's in their face, just kind of being a jackass, essentially, right? So he gets in one of the paramedics' faces after the paramedic says, look, you need to back up. You need to give us space so we can work on her. And he gets up in his face and says, what are you going to do? And the paramedic just goes to put his hands up and the guy pushes him. So the paramedic, pushes him back, decks him. The guy pulls out a gun and shoots both of the paramedics multiple times. One of the paramedics also had a gun. The paramedics survived. That guy did not survive. So they got him back, but they're both in the hospital, obviously, because they were shot chest, abdomen, and I think groin, both of them. Luckily, their aim, they practiced. They took some training courses with that pistol, whereas this guy didn't. But I thought this was a great story just because Parrish is always talking about his experience as a paramedic and just how fast things can go south. You're there to help somebody, and all of a sudden the guy's shooting you. Wow.
I mean, I've been in that situation up until he draws the gun. I've been in that situation, man, a few times. Like I'm like just racking my brain about thinking of several specific calls as you're telling the story, and then with a guy like, what are you gonna do? I was like, oh, and then you went real dark real quick.
Right.
Well, here's a question. Did the girlfriend make it?
Yeah, I believe so. Let me go through my notes here really
Wait, was
quick.
she unconscious or something, or did she actually get to
So,
watch
no,
her
no, no.
boyfriend being a
So
complete fool?
she wasn't like in terrible a terrible way. She was complaining of like knee pain or back pain or something like
Oh.
that, and it was one of those calls, right, where it's like, I think I need to go to the hospital, call an ambulance. It's not like she had a heart attack and was on the ground. So that's what makes the whole thing ridiculous, is that the guy was acting like he was over something like that. It could have been drugs or who knows what,
I
but
would say it's probably some drug related.
yeah, regardless, yeah, stay safe out there, all you paramedics. But
Yeah. No joke.
on that note, I thought it would be a good lead in for Parrish, because I'm sure he has something whipped up for us here to lead
Yeah.
us out.
Well, the thing is, anytime you have holidays like Christmas, Mother's Day, Thanksgiving, things like that, where you have families getting together, you always have some family members who normally don't go out very much going out. And the infirm will try and get out. Believe it or not, we have a ton of calls on Mother's Day for moms that are trying to go to church. Um, Moms trying to go to church, moms, getting out when they really shouldn't be getting out. So Christmas is no exception. And there was one Christmas that, I jinxed us. Apparently, my partner told me that I was jinxing us that morning when I was shining my boots, my work boots. She said, if you shine your work boots on the clock, we are going to be slogging in mud all day long.
Okay, I got you. Like washing your car and then it starts raining.
Right. Right. Like Alanis Morissette said.
Yeah.
Only that wasn't. Oh, that's a different topic. Anywho, so about 2 hours after I'm done shining my boots, of course, we get a call, and it's a lady up in the woods who fell and hurt her ankle. And we get out there. Come to find out, it was a family who the matriarch of the family didn't get out very much. She was uh, a rotund woman,
Gotcha.
portly,
It's a
we'll
very
say.
nice way of putting it. Yeah.
Yes, very nice, but very portly. And their family, they have some family property that's been in there for their family for generations. And there's a natural cave, and so that's where the family always gets together for like family get-togethers and stuff, at this natural cave on their family's property.
Is that where the fat lady lives?
No,
That's where they keep her.
and she just doesn't go there. The thing is, it's back in the woods, and it's hard to get to. It's virtually impossible to get to. It's up this steep, sheer, like rock face almost. You almost have to climb to get to it. It's just this thin little deer trail that's super steep that gets to it, and it's about maybe 3/4 of a mile back in the woods from where the furthest you can get with a vehicle. So we park. We're there with the volunteer fire department, locals, there, and we get back there, and of course, it took us like 15 minutes to hike to this woman. And like I said, little deer trail. It's muddy. It's nasty. It rained the night before. And so we're just slogging, man. We're like slipping, fall on your knees in the mud and stuff. It was so steep and crappy. Finally get out up to this lady, and she fell over a rock, and she had an obvious ankle fracture. She wasn't walking out.
Sure.
We weren't, and we weren't carrying her out. Word. So we realized, oh crap, we needed to get her some pain meds because she was in a lot of pain. And we had to, okay, I'm not sure if this is something that could get me into legal trouble. So I heard a story about some people who were back in the woods, and they had to use a glucometer or a glucagon syringe. Okay, so glucagon is a thing you give for people with low blood sugar, and it has its own syringe that's already pre-filled. All you do is pull it out and you stick it in and plunge it, and it's good to go. But this this EMS squad didn't have any needles to start an IV and give medication to this patient because it fell out on their way up. And so they had to empty a glucagon syringe just into the dirt and refill it with painkillers, with morphine. Was it morphine? No, it was fentanyl, I believe we gave her.
You mean the other people gave her?
They gave her.
Yeah, people in the story. Characters.
Yeah. And they had to make it work. They got the IV, she got the pain meds, they got her out and everything. But a lot of lessons were learned that day. One, make sure you have extra IV needles in different containers in different areas of your EMS bag. And don't shine your shoes anytime during your shift, doing it when you're off shift. And yeah, don't work on Christmas. That's a big one.
and another one, get yourself a tractor tire so you can practice rolling heavy things across the ground.
Down the hill. Well, if we would have gotten her to the top, we were at the top of the hill. So I mean,
that's pretty easy. Yeah. Oh, she slipped.
We didn't want to turn it into any worse trauma than it was.
I thought the story was going a completely different way. I'm expecting. Okay, well, we weren't carrying her down, so we had to call the airlift team in, and well, then we had to mow some trees over because there wasn't a big enough place to land. And
I never had to mow any trees over. Or I never had to call in for a helicopter. I always kind of wanted to, never did.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
But,
I was thinking that's where the story was going, was that they're gonna have to hell lift her. And if you guys seen that clip of the elderly lady that was hella lifted out of the canyon, but the stretcher that she was on, they have like the winch and they're pulling her up, but the rotor wash starts spinning her and it's just uncontrollable. She keeps spinning and spinning and spinning. Yeah, I thought it was going to be something like that. So, yeah. So, anyways, that's the end of our fun little Omega Christmas special. We hope everybody out there has a good holiday season, and we'll see you next week. But before we go, I just want to reiterate something that we mentioned in a previous show. This is the time of year when people get, lonely. Then maybe you had a rough year. The Christmas time, all the cheer and everything is just having the opposite effect on you, and you're feeling really low, you're having a hard time right now. If that's any of you out there, our email is going to be in the description. Go ahead, click on that, shoot us an email. We'll get you over into our Discord chat. You can talk with us. We're your bros, and we mean that from the bottom of our hearts. We really do. We don't want anybody to be feeling like that. If you don't have friends to talk to or just anything, hit us up.
Yep. Each one of us have been to a really low, dark place like that at one point or another. Yes. And it's always been one of us that pulled the other one out of it. So just want to pay it forward and pass it on. You guys, hit us up. There's
no shame at all. None whatsoever. Yeah. We won't feature you on the channel or any of that stupid stuff, just between us, but just come hit us up.
And if you want nothing to do with us, and you just need contact information to like a national hotline or something, we'll give you that too. Just whatever you need.
And we won't shame you. We only shame each other. So.
Yeah. Right. And we're good at
it. So on that note, again, Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, everybody. We'll see you next week. Omega Dudes out.